You want to draw in graphite? But you don't know what to pick? Ah! Good thing you're here. We'll talk about the different pencil brands and take a look at some samples right after this. Hey guys, I thought today we'd talk a little bit about graphite pencils. When you're getting started in graphite, you might be overwhelmed by the amount of choices you have for pencils. So I pulled out all of mine and we can take a look at what we've got going on here. First, I did a comparison box. I figured I would spare you the details of me coloring them all in. The top line is Derwent Graphic pencils, the new formula. I recently got them and I'm very pleased. Next up, Staedtler Mars Lumograph. Those are usually my go-to pencils. Third up, Faber Castell 9000. I don't have a full set of those yet. And last but not least, General Pencil Company's Kimberly pencils. Now if you notice, there's really not a whole lot of difference in tonal value between the brands. Now some of them, see if I can get a closer view here, some of them are a bit more scratchy than others. What we have is 9H to 9B. H means hard. These pencils in the H category have more filler in binders and less graphite. And the more binder, the less tone you get. Black, B is for black. That means you have an increasing amount of graphite until you get to your darkest shades, and they're softer leads. Then right in the middle we have the HB, the F, and the H. Your F stands for fine point. It's kind of in the middle between hard and soft, and it will sharpen to a nice fine point and not dull very quickly. Now you might want to know what I prefer, but the truth is every artist prefers their own type of pencil. I started out with Derwent Graphic, the old ones, thought I loved them. Then I got my Staedtler Mars Lumograph. They were so much smoother, so I went with those. Then everybody said try Faber Castell 9000. I did. I wasn't that impressed. I kept going back to my Staedtler Mars Lumograph. And now that I have the new formula Derwent Graphic, they are so smooth. I think those will be my go-to. But the difference between these brands is mainly the name. You're buying a name brand, so it costs more. Kimberly's, General Pencil Company's Kimberly pencils are wonderful. I did a lot of drawings with them and I still pull them out and use them. So they're definitely worth the money for a starter set if you want to buy a complete set. But my advice for graphite pencils is to buy one or two pencils, all the same, like whatever brand you want to choose, buy just a couple pencils from each and sketch with them for a while in a sketchbook and see which one you prefer, because what you like might not be the same as what I like. We all have different techniques, we all have different feels for our pencils, so it's really about what you like and what you're comfortable with. So next I have the blacks. You can see they do get dark, but you can also see they're also incredibly shiny. Graphite will get a shine to it. Well, the first dark pencil I bought was a Derwent Onyx Dark, and yeah, it's not even as dark as their 9B. So I tried Prismacolor Ebony. It's very smooth. I like it, but it's gray. It's somewhere in the B, 2B, 3B range. General's layout's nice, but again, you're still in that HB to 2B range, color-wise, tone-wise. Kimberly 9XXB, bingo! Nice and dark. It is a carbon mix, So it has carbon in it, which makes it darker, but it still has graphite. No shine. Nice and dark. Now Staedtler Mars Lumograph came out with their black set that have carbon. It comes with the 2B, 4B, 6B, and 8B. There's a little bit of shine on the 2 and the 4, maybe slight on the 6, but none on the 8. And they're nice and dark, but I don't really like the feel of them. They feel a little bit waxy to me. Recently I tried General Pencil Company's Carbon Sketch. Wow, I love this pencil. It is so smooth going down, and it's nice and black. I love it. I also tried the Conte Paris, and it's okay. It's a little waxy like the Staedtler Mars, but it's nice and dark. And if you want, you can just go with your typical basic charcoal. So I have Derwent charcoal in light, medium, and dark. A Conte Paris stick, that is different than the Conte Paris pencil. The Conte Paris stick comes in a set like this, or you can buy them individually. And it's just a stick. And it's a little bit waxier based. Then I have General Pencil Company's charcoal in hard, medium, soft, and extra soft. I really like those. Now, another thing you can use is a compressed charcoal stick. I'm going to pull that out here. When I was taking an art class many, many years ago, we were required to have them. And the funny thing is, we really didn't use them that much. Oops, I apologize. I'm knocking my camera around here. But this is just compressed charcoal. It doesn't even have a name brand. And that's what I used here in the rounded stick. And I also have it in this little pouch. Looks like a piece of chalk. Now, what I didn't test out on here, I do have a number of woodless graphite pencils. They tend to be kind of pricey, and they mark nice, but I find them to be very shiny. So I don't use them very often, and they pretty much sit in my pencil case. But they're nice to have just in case. Down here I have graphite sticks by Generals. They're just a stick of graphite. And you can use them on their sides. Oop, let me get in camera frame here, that'd be nice. You can use them on the sides to try to get tone on your paper, and then you could smudge that around if you wanted. But instead of doing that, I have found a much more wonderful way to tone my paper without pencils, without any of that stuff. Oh, and I knocked the camera again. That's awesome. I'm in a very small space and my camera's behind me. Whoops. General's graphite powder. Now this big jar, let me tell you, when you open it, you are going to get a mess. So be prepared. Have papers down. Just be careful, because yeah, it's pretty messy. And I never worked from the jar. I learned that the hard way. Instead of working from the jar, I have a little decorative bottle that I keep my graphite powder in. And that way it makes it easier to just pop this open carefully and use a Q-tip or a brush and get some out. And what's wonderful about graphite powder is you could tone an entire piece of paper very quickly for a background. And you can make it as dark or as light as you want by just how much you blend it out. I blended some out here kind of quick just to show you. A fun thing with this graphite, especially when you're doing backgrounds, is you can do negative drawing. You can take your kneaded eraser and go through and make shapes. Or if you want more precise shapes, let me see here, where's my, there it is. I use my Tombow Mono. You can get whiskers, whatever it is you need. So it's a great way to do a background as I smudge everything. And, you know, just draw away in the graphite with your erasers. Now at the bottom here, I have my clutch and mechanical pencils. Now what a clutch pencil is, I have Staedtler Mars Technico and 2mm leads. Here's my clutch pencil. You push down on the lid and you can see this opening up. Let me see if I can get this in camera frame here. And here's my lead. I'm going to try and get this. There you go. So what it does is it clutches on to your lead. Push down, put your new lead in, adjust it the way you want, and there you go. And then since they all look alike and I have different degrees in them, I put a little piece of artist tape around them and write what I have in there so I know what I'm grabbing. Now these pencils come without a sharpener, of course. However, in the lid there is a sharpener. So you pull out your lid and you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to sharpen your lead. And it takes forever, and watch this. You're going to end up with a ton of graphite in there that you have to get out in order to draw again. The first time I used it, I forgot to tap it out, and I went to put the cap back in and I got graphite all over. So what I use now, I bought a Coombe long point 2-stage sharpener for use with my colored pencils. But if you buy the blue one, and it's only the blue one, here's the 2-stage, it has these little holes in the side that are for these little razor blades. Those will sharpen your mechanical pencils. So I use the 2mm side, and within a couple turns I have a really nice sharp point again. And then I just retract that in there the way I want it, and I'm good to draw again. It's a lot quicker, a lot easier, so I highly recommend getting a lead pointer or one of these sharpeners if you use a clutch pencil. I also have mechanical pencils that I just started trying, which are by Graphite. They're 500 series. It's got a nice weight to it. I like how it feels. Just like my Staedtlers, there's a nice weight. It's very balanced. But with these, I can get teensy tiny little details, and I really like it for working like inside the iris of an eye, where it's so tiny, the little flecks of dark colors. This will get in there and make those little flecks for me. So I love my pencils. So that's pretty much the basics here, and I'll show you what I have. Now, like I said, my first pencils were these Derwent Graphic pencils. They say England. They have white printing on them, and they are scratchy. They are terribly, terribly scratchy. But now, and they usually come in tins. You'll notice that a lot of sets will come in tins. Now I'm using the Derwent Graphic 9H to 9B set. That's new formula. They are wonderful. I hit the camera again. I wonder how many times I'm going to do that today. That's how it goes. Okay. Boing, boing, boing. That's lovely, isn't it? Anybody getting seasick? I hope not. I love these pencil roll-ups. So that's what I use when I'm working. But the new Derwent Graphic pencils are silver. And they say made in Britain. So make sure if you want to try these that they say made in Britain and the writing is in silver, the printing on the barrel of the pencil. But I will say they're so much smoother. I'm really happy with them. But if you're just starting out, I can't tell you enough. Don't sweat it. As you can see from my comparison chart, I'll set that here for a second. Graphite's graphite. There might be slight variations in the tonal values, but basically, by controlling your pencil, you can go light to dark. Well, maybe not that dark, but a 2B, an HB. You can get pretty light and pretty dark with it to start out. And you don't need fancy name brand pencils to do this. So just try what you want. And then just for fun, I put on here the Faber Castell water-soluble graphite pencils. These are so deceptive. You look at them and when you lay them down, they look pretty close in tonal value, dry. But oh boy, you add that water in it, so it's like boing! They can get, this 8B gets wonderfully dark. And you can layer it, you can put more graphite over it and wet it. Amazing. I love it. So that's about it for pencils. I'll show you my terrible collection here. I'm a pencil hoarder, I swear. My new Derwents. And here's my Staedtler Mars Lumograph and the blacks. And my last one I'll show you is my Faber Castells. And I hit the camera again. Yay! Should be able to make some sort of game out of it. Every time I hit the camera, something happens. Here's my Faber Castell 9000s. So there you go. My Kimberleys don't have a case. I usually keep them in my traveling easel. But they're wonderful. And again, if you want darks, I would say go for a Kimberly 9XXB, which is, I have to warn you, whoops, that's not it. I was going to say, that's awful thin. The Kimberly 9XXB is much, much thicker than a regular pencil. So you'll definitely want to get a sharpener it will fit. But I guarantee you, you will love this for doing blacks, any kind of blacks in your drawings, where you want it nice and dark with not a lot of shine. After that, if you want even darker, again, I would say to go with General's Carbon Sketch. It is beautiful, dark, soft black. No shine. But you can see I have Kimberleys in each of my kits here because I do use them a lot. So don't waste money buying a full set when you're starting out. All of these pencils are available open stock. So you can go in and buy 1 or 2 pencils and try them out, because you don't want to waste a lot of money on a full set of pencils that you discover you don't like that much. Now, if you have any questions or comments, if there's something you'd like me to discuss more with you, I am here. Leave a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And I'll try to answer your questions, or if you have a suggestion for a tutorial, that would be awesome as well. And I suppose I could show you. I did complete a drawing already, despite Inktober. I've been driving myself crazy with Inktober. But I did finish a portrait with the new Derwent graphics because I just had to try them out. Here at Fontenelle Forest we have a new bald eagle on display. His name is Fisher. He came to the forest. He was found in Omaha, shot. He was taken to be rehabilitated. Part of his wing had to be amputated. And then after the eagle mew was finished at the Raptor Refuge at Fontenelle Forest, they applied all the paperwork to get Fisher back here. And thankfully U.S. Fish and Wildlife agreed. And so this is Fisher, and he is the new bald eagle at Fontenelle Forest. He'll be a permanent resident there, and he is gorgeous. So this was all done with the full range of Derwent Graphic pencils, the new formula, and I just love them. The only thing that's not Derwent, there's the carbon sketch right there. Okay. Again, comments and questions are welcome below. And please subscribe if you want to take this journey with me. I'm starting out with tutorials in Graphite, and then we'll move on from there, see how things go. Until next time, keep creating.